Thunderous Pursuit from the Tastar here. A reconstitution on the Zagara, who, unsurprisingly, has gone down to the bot lane, but with Tastar against her, she's going to have a bit more trouble than she would usually dealing with that creep. ETC, though, with something a tiny bit out of the ordinary, he's gone for that prog rock, getting at that lovely health regen, 3 extra health per second for each globe he picks up on guitar solo.
Going into a bit of the extra sustain here, I'm kind of liking it. With the setup that is being run by the opponent, I wouldn't... he's probably going to go for keep on rocking on level 7. It's going to help him quite a bit to stay alive there. It's all about this, of course, it's not all about it, but a lot is really going to hinge on Thrall. The way he can build up momentum during the fights is going to be important for them. And already Lowell here with a bit of power play against Crisplosion. So yeah, this is going to be a very, very fun game.
Yep, TeamLiquid have a lot of control over this chest area, so they're more than likely going to get all 5 coins from the top chest. However, that's because they had a numbers advantage. Sonya is down in the bottom lane helping out Tassadar, and they were able to pick up all of the coins down there. All of them onto Sonya, in fact, who's already prepared to possibly go for a turn-in, and that's what she's going to do while everyone else from Liquid is busy in that mid lane.
Yeah, it's of course always nice if you get a few of the coins, but it's even more important that you turn them in securely. So for now we have Lucifron and Gerd in the mid lane, still trying to do some pressure. The way that this map works, since we don't have it all too often, the first lane that is being attacked by the objective is the mid lane. Then it continues with the top lane fort, and then we're attacking the bot lane one. If you drop the towers here to half health, the first tower, then you are guaranteed a fort kill with your first turn-in. Super important to know. That's why the teams usually focus down one of the towers here. And this is exactly what we've been seeing so far. We had a kill against the Gara on the other hand in the bot lane, as you can first see on this screen. And that's why Uther rotates down now, because he of course knows that he has to soak the experience while Zagara is gone.
Yeah, you need to keep that up. Zagara on her way down now. She will rejoin as soon as possible. But while this is happening, Tastar is going to be able to get quite a bit of lane push done thanks to his storms, and maybe even clear up a bit of creep if he finds the time.
Level 4 for both of the teams now, and once again we're actually seeing the healing ward taken on Tassadar as the talent on level 4. So a bit of a shift there, not going for that leeching plasma. That's actually really interesting to see, since Remabola is playing Sonya again, so you would expect to go see Leeching Plasma here, but nope, not going to happen this time.
Yeah, I quite agree with you. The Leeching Plasma would be, Esports has been taken, but it is just a slightly different way of doing it this time.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm being an idiot right now. It was of course the healing ward on Karazim and not on Tassadar. Yeah,
Fair enough. Easy mistake to make. I also looked at it to begin with and was like, well, both of them can take it.
I was looking at the talents, I was just like, wait a second, that can't be. Why did he do that? It doesn't make no sense. Then yeah, of course, I made a bit of a mistake there. Sorry, as you can see here on screen right now, it is the Leeching Plasma, the talent that was expected, but Karazim is the one who decided to go instead into the healing ward here. So all good, no problems here with the talents. Players making the good choices here. Very smart talents. Muradin dying. And well, we have now a kill for a kill, but look at that mid lane pressure. And again, I want to highlight this once more. Every single structure that you take down makes your objectives so much more important. Those cannon barrages from the ghost ship, and especially with the first tower, and more than that tower already gone in the mid lane, the fort is going to fall once the TeamLiquid starts to turn in.
Yeah, and this is why we used to see quite a high, and still actually do sometimes see quite a high priority on the mule talent on this map, due to the fact that, like you said, every structure is important, because yes, if you can heal up your tower that was 1 hit from death up to full health, that's suddenly going to take 2 or 3 hits compared to 2 or 3 hits that could have been going onto your forts instead, and that is really useful.
Yeah, TeamLiquid is attacked while they are trying to take down that bruiser cap. They might let this go. We have a mule actually taken on Tassadar. Not going to Kala's Embrace. That's not an easy decision, I can tell you that much. Healing ward in the back line. Here comes the rotation. Lowell moves in. They're trying to go for the kill against Karazim. Ace goes down. Uther is also in trouble. He's eliminated as well. Still has a few heals available. Lowell attempting to burst down Muradin too. But this is now another camp taken. Job well done by them. This is of course also a few coins that they get. And at a perfect moment in time when we have chests on the map.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get a lot of chests here and grab as many coins as they can. However, Muradin and Valor are going to be fighting Kael'thas in the top lane, driving him away from that chest, and they will grab the last 3 coins from that.
Yeah, when it comes to coins, we have 14 coins against 11 now. Of course, 5 have already been turned in by TCM Gaming, giving them a bit of an advantage when it comes to the coin count. We have still Khaldor at the top lane. Khaldor's just rotating between lanes and at this point trying to make the most of his talents and soak experience as much as he can. Of course, in this case, he also has to deep push against the Bruiser camp.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of XP out of this, and he's also grabbing quite a few globes for his Mana Addict there, which is going to really help him when he gets that shield in the late game.
Cannon Barrage in the middle is going to drop that fort, as we already said, so now they have gotten the objective. And here we have the first tower going down, the fort is going to fall, and then the cannons are going to start hitting the top lane instead. So yeah, solid job by TeamLiquid. And of course, with all those structures now being eliminated, it secures them a level lead, and that results in them taking Sundering as their heroic ability, Mosh Pit together with Phoenix Maw, and also that Divine Shield once again.
Yeah, so very standard talents out of them here, and we're more than likely to see standard stuff out of everyone on the side of TCM as well. Ace, having to dash away though, needs to keep himself alive for these fights over this turning point, which Liquid currently going to leave for a bit, despite there are 15 coins in the possession of TCM at the moment.
Yeah, 15 coins. I mean, they have to turn them in still, but if they get that done, that's nearly 2 turn-ins that they have there. Yeah,
Thrall currently having a bit of an issue in the mid lane due to the fact that, well, pretty much everyone is here, but Hollow having a similar issue in the bot lane due to the push of TeamLiquid here.
Yeah, and TeamLiquid has also now a Siege Giant camp pushing with that, and they run Zagara, so they will have a very strong push, and that's why we see TCM starting to rotate down. They have their own heroics now ready. Wrath of the Berserker, Strafe, Divine Palm.
The sandwich.
Here we go. This is the problem that you have, and especially that Vala has a huge amount of trouble now, but nice Divine Palm. She's still in a bad spot, taken down. Karazhan couldn't do anything about it, and Tastada is suffering the same fate.
Yeah, very nice play there by TeamLiquid. Good sandwich. They were trying to go for Sonya, but Vala was the one out of position, so they picked her off. But Sonya, with 10 coins, they really wanted to try and pick her up.
They only lost 1 coin, though. It was only a coin on Vala, so that they got, at least in that regard, a bit lucky that they didn't lose more than that. But of course, now being 2 levels behind, that's not really a comfortable position to be in, especially with that bot lane being pushed even more by the fort.
Yeah, so for now, he's pretty much the only one down here. Remember, arriving. There's the mule, but is that actually going to work? Because Liquid could try and commit to finishing this off. They're not going to take the risk, though, because right now they are very outnumbered. Here comes the rest of TCM, and TCM actually going to attempt to try and get a quick kill here. Vortex in full retreat. He has that reconstitution up, and a nice force wall to prevent Zagara from coming in and getting anything else out of this.
Yeah, that mule is actually starting to do some solid work, trying to rival the power of the mules in StarCraft 2. We all know that those guys are OP, but this one is also starting to really put in some work.
Yeah, they are just covering it at the moment, protecting it, making sure the mule helps out as much as possible. But TeamLiquid, they don't want any of it. They want this fort down, but it's still taking them a lot longer than it would have otherwise, thanks to that mule. And there it goes. That fort will go down. And that is going to be the second fort of the game going over to TeamLiquid.
Yeah, at nearly level 13, so that's an extra talent that they're about to secure for themselves. But nice, the turn-in for TCM, sneaking that in with Sonya, really well done. Of course, that also makes sure that at this point, at least, TeamLiquid is not able to turn in their own coins. So that was actually like a pretty cool move. Sonya even gets away, like she really was on the run there, trying to escape, because she, of course, knew everybody would try to find and take her down. But now more camps are taken. TeamLiquid, they do what they have to.
Yeah, Sonya's still holding 7 coins at the moment, though, so she is definitely a target. Which isn't, though, it is now as much. She now has 9 coins, which is as much as Thrall is holding. So both of the very frontline melee heavy damage people are going to need to be very careful here, as they are holding the most coins of their teams and will be a target.
Yeah, once again, 13 versus 12 talents, and that of course gives us the 2 Wind Fury talents for Thrall on 7 and 13. And we're seeing the chain bombs as well. There's no way that TCM is willing to fight this without actually waiting for their own level 13 talent to drop, so they move back, and that allows TeamLiquid to turn in again. And they eliminated most of the force. Oh, they try to go for Mirrodin. Avatar has been used. Chris Explosion is still in play. Holocarantus trying to go in. Body block attempts, not successful. Yeah, he has his adrenaline pumping now, but still he is, at least for now, safe. That camp, on the other hand, is going to fall.
Yeah, and that protection does mean that TCM are now going to be on the same talent level as their opponents, with everyone alive. If that kill had gone down, then TCM would have to be so cautious right now, because they'd be down a member and they would be on the same talent level, but just not in any position to do anything.
Top lane, by the way, that's where we're seeing Khaldor trying to deep push that one wave that Sonya used to drop the fort with. Very well done here. So we have, even though we already saw 2 turn-ins, both of the teams with a very similar structure situation on the map. There's one additional fort for TeamLiquid currently at the bot lane, but besides that, both of the teams have been doing a very nice job trying to take down forts and towers.
Lucifron, get a face check here, finds a lot of members of TCM, but he is ETC, he's tanking that up quite nicely there, goes in, gets the mosh pit onto 2 members there, gets Valor and the Karazin. There's the Sundering as well to try and finish off Karazin, but they do finally get him. Valor with a nice strafe interrupted by that Devouring Maw, and now they have a follow-up person, and down goes that Valor. Very nice engage there by Liquid. Lucifron just able to tank all the damage from TCM because that looked quite scary.
They could go for boss now, but that was a very cool move that we saw for TeamLiquid. I totally agree with you. There are chests on the map as well, so boss would have been a decent idea without the objective spawning, but now they can secure 10 coins for themselves. Mirrodin is attempting to steal a few at the bot lane, but they should still be able to get the most of it. 16 talents are also ready, and Mirrodin might even die here. He's up against 2 heroes that can stun him.
Oh,
the double stun, well done, and he is going to get away here.
Liquid, they're not done. They want to get at least someone or something. They are very outnumbered here. We're seeing Gernherd and Lucifron pushing in, trying to kill someone. Chris and Lol coming in from above, and they're able to take down the Tastar to start, but everyone else gets away, and those were the ones with coins.
Still 7 kills against 2. We are in the 5th game, and TeamLiquid, they gain so much momentum now. They can get 4 additional coins thanks to the chest at the bot lane. We have an attempted turn-in already by Thrall, and they can, of course, help him out by just delivering the last few that they need here. It's camp after camp that's being taken by TeamLiquid now on the map that helps to push the lanes, that helps to damage the structures, and it gives them additional coins that Chris, for some reason, was actually left at the bot lane, but, well, he remembered.
Yeah, he's going to be able to pick them up. And he's backing it out for now, not want to be caught out, and his team has already got the full turn-in. So he knows he can't turn his coins in, so he needs to be careful wandering around with him. Whereas the rest of Team Liquid seem to disagree. They're actually going very aggressively into the mid lane, maybe looking to try and grab a keep.
Yeah, they know that there's a mule against them, so if that cannon barrage is not dropping the keep, they should still try to eliminate it, but there's still so many shots left. It should definitely take out the mid keep, and that will give them a huge lead. There's also another thing to consider. Ace of Spades might be in trouble here. They're trying to go for a flank, Shrink Ray already being used, and yeah, Ace has no chance of survival. He has the Divine Palm, but still, that's not going to be enough.
Yeah, he only delayed his own death there. I think it might have actually been a bit better to maybe just save the Divine Palm due to the fact that he was good anyway. But the cooldown, not a huge amount longer than his death time, so it does work out in this case.
They go for the boss. Chris even going for the super safe play, checking every single corner here if there's maybe someone waiting. That's not the case. The mid keep has been eliminated, by the way, by the barrage, and already a few shots fired up to the top lane where the boss is now going to try and push. There's, of course, a bit of a counter pressure play now on the side of TCM Gaming as they are turning in the middle of the map at Blackheart. But Zagara moved in and tried to interrupt. He was just a tiny bit too late to really make that.
Yeah, this does, however, get rid of the last remaining vestige of coin bank that we saw for TCM. So they are now down to have 1 coin and can't afford to do this again. They now actually have to fight over objective points with Team Liquid, who are currently moving in quite aggressively to this top lane. Remember, all are getting ready to try and circle around from behind, though.
There's 2 camps pushing in, a Bruiser camp and the boss, 16 versus 16 talents. Now as TCM Gaming also picked up their next level. We have them, of course, with the Nerves of Steels. There's the Dimensional Warp, Stone Form, Blood for Valor. They dropped the Mule already, but this is, and there's no way to save that keep. It's absolutely not going to happen. Way too much damage. That boss already on it. We have Sonya jumping deep into the lane. ETC with a great mosh pit against 2 heroes. The more at the same time, Sundering being used as well. Devis on Vala dies, and they should be able to also take down Sonya and Karazin, but it looks like at least one of them is going to escape. Rema Baller is able to get away. Mirrodin, Chris Blosian, he jumps out after Karazin got eliminated. The boss is already in core, and it looks like Team Liquid is going to attempt to finish it right here.
Yeah, the boss with just under half health now. They're going to try to push into the core. There's not enough here. Sonya even getting knocked up there, and that is going to be GG. And Team Liquid, despite the huge run for their money that TCM gave them, they take the series in a 3-2.
Yeah, that was definitely not quite the best of 5 that they expected, I would say, because going into this, personally, I thought it would maybe be a 3-1. but I didn't really think that TCM would be playing this good. That was very impressive.
That was, well, I mean, compared to what we were predicting even yesterday evening, before we started the tournament, we did not think the first series of the day was going down to the wire like this.
Yeah.
But I do have to say, in that last game, you know, all the way up to about level 14, 15, the teams were relatively even on experience. They had relatively even talent level, but TeamLiquid just looked like so much more of a cohesive team. The team fights were going in their favor. They were pushing when and where they wanted to push. It felt like TCM was constantly being reactive. Was there anything about the draft just in that final game that you thought might have made a big difference for TCM there?
The draft for TCM was definitely a little bit stranger compared to their usual ones. They were very much focused on the usual style of, hey, let's get this Sonya in as quick as possible and try and work with it. But this time, they were basically banned out from taking the huge protection that they could in the other games. And once again, they let ETC through, and this time, he was able to get all of his mosh pits off.
It was also a Khaldor this time against them. There definitely was a bit of an issue there, and those team fights after that level 13 was hit, you could really tell. It was also TeamLiquid just getting the first few objectives. They really rolled with that quite well, and one of the big moments was that they were able to take down so many structures before that even happened. But then eliminating the entire wall in the middle, they made sure that the forge just dropped so fast that after that, I feel TCM always had the problem that they had to catch up to the talent.
But even with the mule, they were trying to protect the building so much, but it didn't really work out for them. They were just trying to play defensively. They had the Karazim, they had the Tastar, they were trying to do anything they could. Without Carla's embrace, like Khaldor said earlier, it's a tough decision to not take it. The mule worked, it slowed down Liquid, but that's all it did. It didn't protect them in the team fights that they really had to take at some point.
And that's exactly what it felt like as well. It felt like the TCM were playing defensively and doing a good job of playing defensively, but that also just means that you spend the whole of your game on the back foot. Team Liquid were constantly taking the initiative.
Make a mistake, and if there's one thing that we've learned from Liquid throughout their entire history, they handle really well under pressure.
Yeah, the thing is, as you already said, like Carla's embrace missing, it's a tough decision to make. You can get a lot out of Mule, and with the pressure that we saw, especially early on from TeamLiquid, they felt that they really needed the talent. In hindsight, I feel Carla's embrace would have been better for them. Going into these fights with the preloaded shields gives you a better chance there. But TeamLiquid, they had an opportunity to get ahead, and from that point on, they just didn't make any big mistakes that you could exploit. They always went for the objectives. They always turned in when they had a chance. When they saw a target on the map that they could reach in time, they went for it. Then on the move back, they took the boss. Before they push in with the boss, they take another bruiser camp. I mean, they make all the right moves. They don't overextend. So that was just a very solid play by them here. I feel that was one of the most solid performances that we've seen from them throughout the best of 5 series.
They seemed a lot more comfortable in this game than they did in some of the others. So, yeah, seemed to work out for them. They seem to be very comfortable on this map, even without their Falstad.
Sure. Well, let's look a little bit at the broader best of 5 series that we've just witnessed. TeamLiquid, of course, edging it out 3-2. Prior to the start of this show match, I think very few people would have predicted a 5-map win for TeamLiquid. TeamLiquid were overwhelming favorites. So 2 questions for you guys. One, is this a case of TeamLiquid maybe playing a little bit worse than we'd normally expect? Or is it a case of TCM Gaming really stepping it up since we last saw them go out at the group stages at DreamHack? And question number 2, does this change your opinion about whether or not TeamLiquid is able to take the finals later on?
You mentioned TCM there at DreamHack. We have to remember, for starters, that they were playing that with substitutes.
Sure,
That is a huge deal in this, and I'm personally putting my ball more into TCM really stepping up their game, because their map control was very solid, and they pretty much every game seemed to be in control, at least in the early game, and were very comfortable there.
For me personally, it's also that I feel like TeamLiquid made a few draft mistakes. On, not necessarily mistakes, but especially on Sky Temple, they definitely had the worst draft. Like, there was TCM drafted together, there was from the start just a better composition, hands down. Then when we're looking at Cursed Hollow, I really feel that I felt from the start, and I said it during the draft, I think already, that TeamLiquid made a mistake banning out the Tyrael and going instead for Muradin. They should have done it the other way around. That would have given them a lot more control in the fights. It would have given them a good way to deal with the damage that came from Kalthas over there. So I feel that Cursed Hollow match was definitely a mistake on their part. I don't know why they currently ban out that Tyrael completely. That seems to be a preference way.
They don't seem to be comfortable playing him, and yet they respect the fact that he's a scary pick.
Exactly. They really fear him as a pick on the opponent's part, and they all talk that he's a strong one. There is a reason why they don't pick him. Right now, we don't know why, but I feel on Cursed Hole in particular, it was the reason why they lost the game. With the Tyrael play here, I personally believe they would have won that match. Sure. Then they got kind of outdrafted on Sky Temple, but it was just, as Thatcher already said, it's not that TeamLiquid just suddenly played bad or anything. It was just like, we saw TCM with incredibly strong play, and in my opinion, a lot stronger play than anybody else expected, and I feel that includes
Definitely.
TeamLiquid.
Yeah, I would agree.
TeamLiquid probably was a little bit surprised when that happened as well. It's not like TCM is a bad team or anything, but if you followed the team over the last, I would say, like 2 months, they always had this hardcore trio of players with, well, also, of course, there's Dingo, who's not playing with them anymore. And now they finally seem to have found a lineup that they can really do a whole lot of work with. I don't even know how long they played with Devils together.
Well, this is the thing. We can even point out here that this series was 5% away from actually being TCM's series win. They very nearly took the entire series by 5% of a core.
That Infernal Shrines game, that was pretty close.
Speaking of TeamLiquid being surprised if that didn't do it, I don't know what did, but right now they must just be feeling relieved because they managed to scrape through with the win.
They have a lot of time to relax. They have some time to refocus before they go into the finals.
Talking about time to relax, one thing that we should probably point out as well is that the players have been really spot on with just like making sure that we don't have a lot of downtime here. We really went from game into game into game into game. And at some point when you expect to go into a series and I don't think that TeamLiquid expected to stomp here, but I really believe that they felt, all right, we are the superior team, we should win this.
Yeah, they'd have the confidence.
Exactly, and suddenly they realize, hey, something is not really working the way that we intend this to. We lose the game number 2, game number 3, we barely win by 5%, and this is getting extremely tricky. And if you just go from game to game to game to game, you don't really have a lot of time to talk about these things. They have time now while we're going into another best of 3. I feel they're going to go over the replays. They're going to look at that, and they're going to take a breather, get some food, get some drinks, and just really prepare mentally for the next game.
The kind of situation you want, and you'd actually see back in, like, we've all come from a StarCraft background, at least before going to Heroes. Before that, some of us were in previous games. But in games where you get into that situation where it's like, okay, I did not expect this game to go where it is, I need to walk. And that's something you would see quite a bit in StarCraft, at least. Yeah. And it's really cool for the players not to do that to us.
Well, they are going to get the opportunity to do that now, of course. We're going to be heading over to a break, and when we come back with the Heroes 4K tournament here at Hitbox, the world's first 4K 60 FPS esports broadcast. We hope you're enjoying the quality. Make sure to go ahead and hashtag 4K Heroes on social media as well. When we come back in 5 to 10 minutes time, we'll have Team Fnatic taking on G2. Don't go anywhere.